Okay, so me and you, we need to talk. We need to talk. Because why is this couple so stinking cute? I mean, Nic and Olandria, they started off so strong because they were friends, because they didn't rush into bed with each other, because they didn't rush to kiss each other, to couple up, to do any of that. Like, take a look at some of these clips right now.
Things with me and Bella, it's cruising, like, but Olandria did get my attention at the coupling night. She came up to me with, like, energy that, you know, maybe Bella didn't bring, but that kiss was intense. I want to get to know her and see where it could go. Thank you for giving me a piece of, like, home. Aww. Thank you for being a good mother to Marcel today. Thank you again for, like, believing in me and believing in this. Yeah, and I'm super thankful for your words too that you had said. Like, whatever you decide tonight, like, I'm truly, like, happy to even get to know you and be in your presence.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my god! When I tell you guys, I was rooting for them from the beginning. I literally was. And once I saw that they got together, my heart was full. And so this is what brought me to make a video like this, because I realized, just like what happened last season with Serena and Cordell, they started off, you know, they were in a couple, but they had a good foundation first. They knew what it took to be a strong couple, and they had challenges along the way, just like Nic and Olandria did, but they got through it. I find myself being a fast burner, fast to fall in love, fast to get under someone, fast to get in a relationship. And these situations, and seeing how strong Nic and Olandria are and the chemistry and sparks that I feel flying off the screen, I wanted to make this video on how we could find our own slow burn romance. One that won't immediately peak and then die out. One that you can gradually grow with someone into something so beautiful you didn't even know was possible. And so we are going to be analyzing Nic and Olandria's relationship leading up to this point, and how we can apply these lessons into our own love lives. What ways you might be self-sabotaging, what ways you can start to curate a slow burn, loving sort of style, rather than this world where we're always told to just like jump into things, to it's okay if you kiss someone, sleep on the first date. What if we did it? What if we go against the grain? What if we start to nurture ourselves as the queens we are and the kings that we are, to allow that person to fall into our lives naturally? So stick around in this video, and we're going to go through the best tips based on this relationship that we can apply into our own lives. And if you're new here, my name is Melody. I make videos, and all my videos are targeted now based on certain pop culture events that are happening that we have real lessons we can learn from. So please subscribe to learn more. I'm on my road to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and your support would mean everything to me. Let's get into it. The number one thing to start realizing how to get in your slow burn relationship is to embrace that it might not feel like fireworks, sparks, instant mutual validation at the very beginning. Usually these types of relationships start slow. They're gentle. You may not even realize this is the person you're supposed to be with when you first meet them. It's not that spark of love at first sight. So with Nic and Olandria, there was definitely some mutual interest there. Nic made it very clear, and Olandria did too, whenever she came in and swirled, "Come here, Cream," and she kissed him.
Come on, Cream.
And Nic kissed her in the blindfold challenge and never told her. See, that created this air of mystery and suspense, and something that was worth growing into. It seemed like the universe at first was against these two, but what it was really doing was guiding them to the perfect moment to where this wouldn't be something to die out quickly. They got to know each other as friends. They would talk often. They would be in each other's same circles, but they never crossed that boundary of what if this was more than friends, even in such a loving environment. So this is what we can do in our own personal lives. Whether it's someone you work with, whether it's a friend, you may not even know it yet. but maybe you're already starting to cultivate that slow burn relationship that could turn into something that changes your life down the line. Them being in these situations where Nick was with Bella first, then he was with Sierra, and we all know how that ended. They kept showing up for each other because they genuinely were interested in each other as good friends. They kept showing up because they liked each other as people first before they liked them relationally. And that created such a strong foundation for them to build off of. And that's exactly what we want to do with our romantic lives. You want to get to know someone first. You want to make sure they actually share the same values with you and they aren't just putting on a facade because they want to get in your pants or because they want to date you. You want to date someone who genuinely is the person they say they are because there was no romantic implications given around your relationship in the first place. Number 2, put yourself in a low pressure, consistent proximity to these people. So sometimes you have someone in mind, or there's someone you might think is a possibility, but you're not really sure. Keep putting yourself in low pressure proximity to these people. So what Nick did, Nick, you're a little messy, but it all worked out, so I can't blame you. He would pick Olandria for challenges. Do you remember that one challenge? It was like, who's the best kisser outside of your couple is what he said. I think he was lying. I think it didn't say outside of your couple. Like, run back the clip.
Well, Nick, during one of the earlier challenges, you read a card that asked you to name the best kisser other than your partner at the time.
Islander, do you think other than your partner is the best kisser? Olandria.
There have been some fan conspiracies that the card didn't say other than your partner, and you just wanted a reason to kiss Olandria. Can you confirm or deny this rumor?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
He's a fifth, guys. We will never know.
I think he just added that because he wanted to kiss her. No, like, on God, it's because he wanted to kiss her. And guess what? He didn't get to kiss her, but then he... Oh, child. So he was fostering that proximity with low pressure because it's a challenge, right? That's what you can do. Maybe it's inviting them out in a group setting, or inviting them out, or asking them if they want to go grab water with you at work, or if it's a friend, just being like, let's go watch a movie with a group. Like, there's certain ways you can get in the same proximity without immediately fostering that. And that's okay if you don't have a specific person in mind. It starts with putting yourself out there, and if there's anyone you vibe with whatsoever, just keep hanging out, see what happens. Friends to lovers arc, anyone? Now is the time to focus on emotional compatibility rather than instant chemistry. How do these people make you feel when you're around them? Do they make you feel grounded? Do they make you feel seen? Do they make you feel loved, comforted, or do they make you feel uncomforted? Do they make you feel anxious after you leave them? Do they make you feel better or worse than when you first met them? All important things to remember, because I could tell for Olandria, she, very great composure. She gives off queen energy. Everyone says that. But when she's around Nick, she gets to lower her guard. She gets to be a more playful side of herself while also being respected like the queen she is. He would kiss her hand. He would do all these things. And this also adds into my other point. Nick wasn't treating her so well just because he wanted her. He was doing it because he was a good person at the core, which is what will help long term. And what I mean by that, he listened to Olandria's needs. Whenever her and Taylor were having problems, when Taylor was going after Clark, I love Clark, whatever, it just left a bad taste in my mouth, I'm not gonna lie. But he was telling Taylor, hey, she just needs reassurance. She just needs you to show up for her. That was him listening. He listened, he remembered, and that is how he kept showing up. He was taking notes. He was taking notes. But this is the kind of person, like, nothing romantic was promised to him. Nothing like that at all. He was with Sierra. She was with him. that's just who he was. And that sort of slow burn, oh, all melted together into a beautiful chocolate swirl melting pot that is Nicolandria now. And I'm so happy about it. Y'all, if you can't tell, I'm a huge Nicolandria stan. But that's what I'm saying. There's so much to learn from this. Analyze, analyze, analyze. Analyze their behavior. How do they act when they're with you? When they're with other people? Is it the same? It's okay if it's slightly different. But what you want is a well-rounded person who isn't putting on a facade just because you're immediately romantically involved. That's the beauty of these slow burn type romances. You're able to actually see the person for who they are, not the rose-colored glasses, not the version that they want you to see. You're seeing the real them. Even in Olandria's situation, she was getting Sierra's perspective on how he made her feel. And Nic was getting Taylor's perspective on how Olandria made him feel. They were able to gather this sort of data so they could be together. It's just very interesting to me. Love Island is not like real life. I mean, if your friends are dating people and then you're all friends, I don't know about this situation, but you get the parallels. It does translate into real life. Like, you're able to see these things. Maybe you see how someone has treated a past romantic partner based on what they've said, and you're friends with that romantic partner. You're like, they were a good person. Or maybe they weren't. Maybe they were an awful person. That is all good information. You need to be analyzing them in this phase. There's nothing that is clouding your judgment right now. So analyze them. If this is the partner you want for life, it is your shot right now to see if they're actually that person or if you are just getting swayed. That's what people do whenever they lock in immediately. I'm thinking about Chris and Huda and Jeremiah. Love them to death, but way too fast. As soon as it starts, as quick as it begins, as quick as it will end. It needs to be a slow build where you actually choose each other based on everything you see. You've seen everything. You've seen the friend side. You've seen the great. You've seen the bad. And you still choose each other. That is what real love looks like. That is what real slow burn looks like. That's what true alchemy in life and decision making is. Set boundaries with your romantic energy. You're going to do this internally. And if something does start to spark between you and this person, you will want to have someone you can communicate very clearly with, and you can be honest with yourself. So you can start doing these little check-ins. If there is anyone who you start to see day to day, or you want to be in a closer proximity with, you can start thinking about like, do I want to give so much of myself immediately? Do I want, even allowing yourself to think about them consistently, distract yourself. You don't need to be falling for someone who hasn't shown you they're the right kind of fit for you yet. You're allowed to take time to wait and see. You're allowed to take time to analyze. You're allowed to take time. But say this person does start, there's some chemistry there. You're friends, but you feel like it could be more eventually. Being able to clearly communicate with each other is going to be key. So Nic and Olandria, they were put in a situation where they had to couple up. Water break. Okay, they were put in that situation. It was obvious to everyone that they were somewhat interested into each other, but they just didn't act on it yet for whatever reason. That's universal timing for you. Nic made it clear through his communication he was interested eventually. It took some boldness, but he did it. Yes! First of all, but they remained open. They communicated, they kissed in a challenge, then they kissed in soul ties. That was the kiss that could be heard all around the world. But afterwards, they had their own reasonings for why they didn't want to continue this right now. Olandria was trying to be a good friend, and Nic was also trying to be a good friend, and also just wanted to be more communicative with their partners, and they just felt guilty, which I don't blame them for. But here's the thing, they communicated about it clearly, even if it wasn't really how they actually felt. They communicated about it, and they made boundaries, and they moved on from there. And then when it came time around where Sierra left, Taylor was no longer interested in Olandria. Nic made it clear to Olandria again, I still want you. It was always you. And Olandria starts to see the big picture come together. Like, is this really what it was supposed to be? Like, is this what I was destined to be? That is what slow burn is. It's like, was the answer always in front of me this entire time? Are you kidding me? But she had time to see the real him. He had time to see the real her. And they communicated that, and they went all the way to the finale, second place, because of that communication, consistent showing up, analyzing of each other, and a little bit of universal help. Because when something is meant to be, it will always be. The important thing to remember is that slow burns aren't boring. Slow burns are foundational for earth-shattering, soulmate level love. And if you're anything like me, I started dreaming about this relationship. I started thinking, holy crap, this makes me feel like a kid again. This magic, this is like the closest we're gonna get to some Disney princess fairy tale in this modern age. And I believe that we all deserve it. We all deserve to take a step back and move slower in our romantic partnerships, to move slowly when it comes to liking someone, to move slowly when it comes to knowing you deserve more out of your partner and you want to see the full picture before you get heavily invested. That is what they did, and that is why the chemistry is so apparent, at least to me and to a lot of people online, why this works. And I believe full-heartedly that me and you can have that same sort of love in our life if we cultivate it, if we are intentional with how we're showing up with our friendships in our life, with people in our life that we could have remote interest in. Think about those good friends you have that aren't super close to you, but they could be. It's gonna be like a light bulb moment. Ask, pray, affirm that you're not gonna jump into romantic partnerships so quickly. Affirm that you want to get to see the real version of someone before you commit, because that is what you deserve. You deserve true, raw, authentic love, that you choose each other day after day, and you're not just choosing each other because it's convenient, because you're both hot, because you both already slept with each other. You're choosing each other because you've seen all of each other and you know that's your person. So I think it's the most beautiful way to cultivate a love. And I haven't had this in my life, but I believe that all of us can cultivate this if we focus on these things. My closing thoughts is that if you want something to last, give it time to build. Slow burns aren't boring. They are the slight, small match that begins a fire that will last forever. This will change your life. This will change your romantic partnerships, the way you look at love, the way you look at dating, the way you look at even some of your friends. Because maybe this is the way it was supposed to be. Maybe we lost that along the way, but now it's time for us to come back. And this relationship of Nic and Olandria was my perfect reminder of that. How do you guys feel about Nic and Olandria? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? I'd love to hear your thoughts below. Have you guys been a part of a slow burn relationship, or do you want to be? Let me know below. I love you guys so much. Don't forget to subscribe if you made it this far, and I'll talk to you guys soon.